My mentor always says to follow your hunches. He says they're usually correct, and I think he's right. So come with me as I follow one of my hunches. I want to take you on a walk through my woods. I live in Central Texas in a town called Elgin. I live on an old farm that my husband and I bought almost 3 years ago, and we have been bringing it back from overgrowth and being broken down, and we have been awakening it to its potential through organic processes, creativity, and a lot of hard work and love. When we first bought this place, the area where I'm walking now was completely overgrown with trees. You couldn't walk through this. And what we realized when we started to uncover and cut down the tiny small trees and clean up is we discovered this tree in the middle of it. And this is where we got married about a year ago. We call it the wedding tree. It's an old post oak that's unbelievably beautiful. And it's my analogy and part of my explanation as to how I deal with and think about the potentials of learning and teaching. That's why I'm showing it to you in my video about my learning philosophy. I am very lucky. I grew up on an island in Maine with a population of about 8,000 people year-round. And when I was a little girl in the summers, we grew up on one road with 2 houses on it. It was about, 5 or 6 acres, something like that. In the summers, the moms, who were best friends, kicked the kids out, and we were allowed to be free. We actually weren't allowed to come home till dinner. That was the rule. So we grew up as wild, free children. We learned how to ride canoes in the ocean, and we learned how to build forts, and we took care of chickens, and we weeded the garden. We went to the beach, we went swimming, we played all sorts of games all the time. When I think about some of my strongest learning memories, I think about making air freshener with my friend Erica and putting it in our fort. I think about building a lookout up in the top of a tall tree, and I think about learning how to keep the canoe close to shore so my little brother wouldn't get scared. And I remember breaking into the live tanks on the dock of the MDI Biological Laboratory that was right around the cove from where we grew up to look at the dogfish sharks and the starfish and the other animals. In other words, I was given a very free and open childhood experience, and I think that informs my teaching and my approach to teaching and learning. When I think about true learning and true teaching, hi Bee, I think about those memories. I think about my high school experience of having a science fair experiment where I was testing to see if Spanish moss and other algae and other plants like that had a indicator effect as a result of pollution. I did that experiment for 4 years. I ended up going to the state science fair with it. I think got somewhere with learning about how plants tell us how pollution is impacting them. I think about my high school aquatic biology class where we just went down to the pond's edge and sat and drew and gathered water samples and just had those experiences. In other words, my experience of true high quality learning and teaching is calm. It's engaged with the environment, whatever that environment is. It is creative, it's peaceful, it's open, it's organic, it flows. I was reminded this morning about my amazing students in inner city Philadelphia. The thing we did at the end of the year, we had studied astronomy for quite a while, and I had had the kids come to me and tell me that they had been at parties in their neighborhood and they had looked up and noticed the stars for the first time, and it was really a magical thing. So what we did at the end of the year is I decided we would build space stations, and you should have seen these little kids. They were 6th and 7th graders, all over the floor, a crazy mess everywhere, building cardboard and paper and glue and markers and anything else they had brought from home that they could find in my closets. And I remember the principal coming in and asking what we were doing, and I told her what we were up to, and she talked to the kids, and they were so excited, and they showed her where the kitchens were, where the bedrooms were, where the bathrooms were. And these were students that had never had a science class before that year, if you can believe it. The city of Philadelphia is very different from anywhere here in Texas. But I've had those opportunities, and when I find those moments of magic, there have been many, I think that is the power of what we do, and that is what we need to do. So when I'm asked to describe my learning philosophy, which I will in these pages, and I have, I would say that principally I want students to find a place of calm in their hearts and minds where they're open to their own ideas, and I want to facilitate them taking those ideas into reality. I want to see what they do with them. I don't want to limit them, and I really want us as a system, or at least as a school, to be moving toward letting go of the control of how students show their learning, letting go of the fear of failure, which I think is a big part of the institution of teaching, and embracing the potential for transformative success and for surprise. I am constantly surprised by what students come up with, and consistently am taught by them that I don't have to worry about them as long as I give them a space to be safe and free and creative. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the writings as well, and email me if you have any questions.